So, if I had to ask you your personal opinion, where do you
Well,
see menswear going in the next 5 to 10 years? I'm always curious what people have to say about this
mm,
question.
I I think that's a relatively tough one. I'm honestly not sure. We don't even know what's happening next month. But I think if I could just put a bit of crystal ball gazing, I think the community, people like us who enjoy what we do and what we wear and our approach to life, I think that's going to grow slightly over time. I don't think it's going to be a phenomenal growth. It's never going to reach the mass market level, which is the beauty of what we like. The last thing we want is to be walking out the door and everybody's dressing up the same way we are, because it's probably not going to happen. But I think over time it's going to the whole idea of classic menswear, the whole idea of sustainable fashion, the whole idea of timeless style. I think it's only going to gain traction over time as people open their eyes to this newer way of dressing. I don't think it's going to take a leap. It's not going to be by huge percentages, but I think, but little by little, we are everything that we do. But you with your social media presence and with everything that you do, me as a retailer, and so many others who are in this circle. I think little by little we're just trying to open people's eyes, and I think with the power of Instagram, with the ongoing appeal of all things nostalgic, all things vintage, second-hand marketplaces, I think it's only going to grow. I think it's good for everyone. We're going to have more people to talk to, more people sending us private messages, more people asking for interviews, more people approaching our store, trying on new items before deciding if that's right for them. I think it's all going to, if I could put it, I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg, and there's a lot more coming in the years ahead. And I think COVID has also, with the last 2 years of challenges that everybody faced, I think people are sick and tired of just not dressing up, not even showering before the day starts. I think at some point of time, as the world reopens again, I think there's going to be this interest in, let me just put on a better piece of outfit before I go out. I think that's slowly coming on. And yes, there's going to be trends like athleisure, which is not something I resonate with. I think that's a big multi-million dollar business. It's a mass market. But I think the segment we're in is a lot more select, it's a lot more niche. It will only grow, but it will never reach the kind of levels that you get on the high street. And that's the
So,
beauty of it.
so you're pretty optimistic,
I
sounds
am.
like.
Because the thing is, if I weren't optimistic, I wouldn't be making this move, coming back home, and putting in lots of time, money, blood, sweat, tears towards opening this venture. And I think the optimism is there. And I've also been speaking to many of the other industry players, both in Singapore and regionally. I get different. Everybody paints me a different picture, but at the end of the day, my own picture is for myself to draw. My own picture is for myself to determine. And of course, it's not going to be an easy ride, especially the way things are. But if you don't try, you never know. And I both my business partners, Guy Lambol and myself, we're approaching this with full confidence. We are bringing in items, artisans, brands, products, items, services that we know will resonate. We are very encouraged by the kind of feedback we're getting. Even though we're not yet open, we're getting a lot of interesting questions. There's lots of indication. There's lots of interest in what we're offering. Of course, at the end of the day, not everything's going to translate into sales and profits. But we are getting the interest, which is a good thing. And I think the good what we have to our favor is that the decorum continues to lead the Bangkok menswear marketplace. And as a shop as well, it's a shop that, the decorum is a brand that resonates far and wide. I've got friends who were in New York, in London. We started being able to travel again. And as they went to those places and visited shops, media, menswear bloggers and all, when they at the very mention of the fact that they came from Singapore, it was very clear that, the people they were talking to in our industry within our beat were aware that we were opening, and there's a general sense of excitement as to what we might be bringing to the marketplace. So, with things are tough, things are challenging, it's going to be an uphill ride. But if something's easy, then it's probably no point doing it. It's going to be difficult, but we are approaching it with full confidence. And I think it's, I guess you could describe me as the accidental retail menswear guy. I came into this by accident. It wasn't a long-term plan. I never knew when I was, when I was a 13-year-old boy, right at this very spot, looking out the window, that I would one day be in this whole business. But it came by accident, but it was also a calculated move.
There's something almost symbolic about it as well. Like where you started is where you've come back to. And you said that your initial interest in menswear, at least in part, started with you wearing a tie to school. So there's kind of something interesting and symbolic going on there as well.
And what's even more symbolic? The school I went to, it was founded in 1886, so more than 100 years. And the first address of the school I went to, Anglo-Chinese school, happens to be in the neighborhood I want our shop to be.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's a heritage neighborhood. It's very much connected to the central business district. So essentially, imagine Singapore being a really small island. We do have a central business district where all the banks and all the Fortune 500 companies are located, and just a few streets away from the gleaming tall towers, you see a collection of World War II, so 1920s to 1940s houses. So these are all preserved buildings. We are currently looking for the right space, the right home for the decorum. So right after this discussion that we have, I'll be going out to meet up with a a commercial space agent and looking at a potential spot. So it's we're going to call our new home. We're going to place our new home within a heritage building that's walking distance from many of our friendly competitors, for lack of a better word. That it's the space, the area we intend to set up shop is almost unofficially termed the sartorial district of Singapore. So there are quite a number of like-minded businesses who've been operating there, and we just want to be close to them and be in a situation where we are the latest addition, the newest kid on the block, and that we contribute to the overall growth of this slowly growing community.